This is the age of steel, an age of motion, of fire, and of human imagination. It is the story of how the earth itself was persuaded to give up its treasures, and how the strength of stone was transformed into the strength of nations. Steel has become the pulse of progress. It beats in every machine, flows through every bridge, and echoes through the mighty halls of industry. It is the unseen framework beneath our cities, the backbone of our ships and trains, the heart of the engines that carry civilization forward. From the dark belly of the earth to the soaring skylines of modern America, the journey of iron and steel is one of labor and triumph, sweat, courage, and the endless reach of invention. It begins in the quiet places, where men descend into the mines before dawn, their breath misting in the cold air, their lamps cutting through the shadows. The iron ore they seek lies deep beneath layers of ancient stone, a red and heavy promise waiting patiently for human hands. In the Great Lakes region, these men carve tunnels through the rock, chiseling away at a mineral that will one day move mountains. Each cut that rises from the mine brings more than ore, it carries the future itself. The clang of picks, the grind of machinery, the echo of boots on steel steps, these are the sounds of progress in its most primal form. When the day ends and the sun falls behind the horizon, the men leave behind them a network of dark veins carved into the bones of the earth like a map of human determination. The ore's journey does not end in the mine. From the cold shafts of Lake Superior, it is lifted to the docks, where a new kind of wilderness begins, the world of iron ships and steel cranes. Here, enormous freighters stretch across the horizon, each one capable of carrying 10,000 tons of the earth's raw gift. In a single hour, men and machines load a ship that will travel 1,000 miles. For just $1 a ton, the ore begins its long pilgrimage across the Great Lakes, a voyage through inland seas that connect the silent wilderness of the north to the roaring furnaces of the industrial east. At Ashtabulett, at Cleveland, at Erie and Buffalo, the ships glide in with their deep cargo holds filled with ore. They come like floating mountains, and from their decks, cranes reach down with mechanical grace, iron arms lifting iron burdens. The air is thick with the smell of oil and smoke, the clatter of gears, the cries of workers. Each ton that rises from the ship's belly is a step toward transformation. Soon it will no longer be ore but fire, not rock but strength. In the great steel centers, the furnaces rise like man-made volcanoes. At their base lie mountains of limestone, coke, and iron ore, three humble materials that together form the foundation of modern life. The blast furnace is a creature of unimaginable appetite. Coke burns fiercely within it, limestone draws out the impurities, and the ore itself melts down, surrendering to the heat. Through the tire pipes, compressed air roars into the heart of the furnace, turning dull red metal into a molten river of light. When the heat has done its work, the mud gun seals the opening, and the beast rests for only a moment. Then comes the spectacle that defines the age of steel. A worker opens the tap hole, and molten iron spills forth, glowing white and alive. It streams into long rows of molds, cooling into what we call pig iron, the first, solid form of the metal that will build the world. The molds smoke and hiss as the iron cools, its crust turning dark even as its core remains hot. Each bar carries within it a story of miners, of sailors, of engineers, all bound together by the same current of progress. But pig iron is only the beginning. It is sent to the open hearth furnace, where once again the metal meets the fire and is purified into steel. 80 tons of molten metal fill the giant ladles, flowing like sunrise through the great workshops. Men in heavy leather masks move with quiet precision, each gesture learned through years of discipline. Here, the line between man and machine blurs, both laboring in rhythm to shape something stronger than either could alone. The molten steel is cast into massive ingots, shining, solid, and as heavy as the earth itself. Trains carry these glowing giants to the rolling mills, where massive mechanical arms, steel fingers of the modern age, lift them into place. Between rolling drums, the ingots are flattened, stretched, and shaped. The roar of the mill is deafening, the heat like the heart of summer. The white-hot metal bends but does not break. It becomes rods, beams, and rails, the very framework of civilization. From these mills come the tools of progress, the rails that bind the continent, the girders that lift our cities skyward, the ships that cross oceans, and the machines that turn human vision into reality. Steel is no longer just a material, it is a metaphor for endurance, for transformation, for the will to build. It reminds us that the strength of a nation lies not only in its metal, but in the hands and hearts of those who forge it. And beyond the smoke of the furnaces, the story continues in a land where nature and metal meet. The Rocky Mountains rise in the west, their peaks crowned with snow, their valleys echoing with wind and water. Here the air is sharp and clean, and the land tells a story older than industry, a story of wilderness and wonder. Among the forests, deer move quietly, pausing between shadows. The black bear roams the slopes, as curious about us as we are of him. High on the cliffs, the eagle guards its nest, a symbol of endurance in its purest form. In these same mountains, the smaller creatures have their pot, the porcupine climbing the trunks of pine trees, the skunk wandering across the rails with calm defiance, and the beaver, ever the builder, reshaping streams into homes and sanctuaries. Their labor mirrors our own, different in scale, but not in spirit. Like us, they take what the world offers and make of it something lasting. The Rockies also hide treasures of their own, the gold and silver, glinting deep beneath the rock. Miners at Leadville and Cripple Creek chase these veins of precious metal, just as their brothers in the east pursue the iron of the earth. From the sweat of their work come the wealth and wonder of cities yet to rise. Water, too, is mined here, held and guided by human design. The deep valleys of the Rockies are dammed to capture the melt of spring snow, filling vast reservoirs that feed the plains below. From these mountains flow the rivers of life that turn dry soil into fertile farmland. Each drop carries the memory of a snowflake, the labor of men, and the promise of abundance. And in the heart of it all stands Denver, the queen city of the mountains. Once a rough supply post for gold seekers, it has grown into a shining metropolis, a symbol of human endurance and the prosperity that follows it. Here, on the steps of the state capitol, we stand 1 mile above the sea. The air is clear enough to see for 100 miles, to mountain after mountain, stretching into eternity. From the mines of iron to the peaks of stone, from the heat of the furnace to the chill of the mountain wind, the story of steel in the Rockies is a story of balance. One is forged in fire, the other carved by time. Both remind us that creation is never simple, it demands patience, force, and faith. Iron gives us the means to build. Steel gives us the strength to endure. And the mountains give us perspective, the quiet assurance that even in the rush of industry, the world still holds its wild, unbroken heart. This is the story of how earth and man met in the furnace of progress. A story of courage and creation, of molten fire and silent stone. The age of steel is not merely an era of machines, it is the age of human will made visible, the age where the dreams of miners, builders, and dreamers come together in the shining fabric of the modern world.